Pancakes Pancakes, a lesson in physical and chemical changes. Make sure you have a sheet of paper and a pencil before you start. You can hit the pause button at any time. Cock-a-doodle-doo, crowed the rooster. Jack woke up, looked out the window, and thought, I'd like to have a big pancake for breakfast. Jack's mother was already up and busy. Mother, said Jack, I'd like to have a big pancake for breakfast. I am busy and you will have to help me, she said. How can I help? Asked Jack. We'll need some flour, she replied. Take a sickle and cut as much wheat as the donkey can carry. Then take it to the mill. The miller will grind it into flour. When Jack had cut enough wheat, he put it on the donkey's back and took it to the miller. Can you grind this wheat for me? He asked. I need it for a big pancake. First we must separate the grain from the chaff, said the miller. He gave Jack a flail and spread the wheat onto the ground. The miller took another flail and began to beat the wheat with it. Jack helped with the threshing, and soon there was a big pile of straw and chaff, and a small pile of grain. The miller poured the grain on a large flat stone. On top of it was a round millstone connected to the water wheel on the outside. The water wheel turned round and round, turning the millstone round and round too, to grind the grain into flour. At last the miller handed Jack a bag of flour. Here's the flour, shouted Jack. Let's make a pancake. But his mother said, now we need an egg. Jack went to the black hen and fed her some grain that had slipped into his pocket while he had been threshing. Cluck, cluck, said the black hen, and went inside the hen house. Then she said cluck, cluck once more and laid an egg. Here's an egg, shouted Jack. Let's make a pancake. But his mother said, now we need some milk. Jack went to the spotted cow and began to milk her. Moo, moo, said the spotted cow as the milk squirted into the pail. Here's the milk, shouted Jack. Let's make a pancake. But his mother said, we need some butter. Jack got the butter churn and held it between his knees. His mother scooped the cream from the top of the milk and put it into the butter churn. Jack pushed the churn handle up and down, up and down. Finally, the cream turned into butter. Here's the butter, shouted Jack. Let's make a pancake. But his mother said, we need to build a fire. Jack went to the woodshed and brought some firewood. Here's the firewood, shouted Jack. Let's make a pancake. But his mother said, wouldn't you like to have something sweet on your pancake? So Jack went down to the cool cellar and pulled a jar of strawberry jam from one of the shelves. Here's the strawberry jam, shouted Jack. Let's make a pancake. In the kitchen, Jack's mother had filled the table with the flour, the egg, the milk, the butter. There was also a mixing bowl, a cup, a wooden spoon, a ladle, a frying pan, a plate, a knife, fork, and spoon, and a jar of strawberry jam. His mother said, put a cupful of flour into the bowl. Break an egg into the flour and stir. Pour a cupful of milk over the flour and eggs and stir again until the batter is smooth and without lumps. Jack's mother heated the frying pan over the fire and added a piece of butter. The butter melted fast. Then she said to Jack, now pour a ladleful of batter into the hot pan. After a minute or two, she looked at the underside of the pancake. It was golden brown. Now watch, she said. I'll turn the pancake over. Ready? Ready, shouted Jack. Flip, said his mother. Up and over went the pancake high into the air and landed right in the pan. In another minute or two, the pancake was crisp on the underside as well. Then she slipped the pancake from the frying pan onto the plate and spread some strawberry jam on it. And now, Jack, his mother started to say, but Jack said, oh, Mama, I know what to do now. So, as you saw in the story, there were many different changes, physical changes, chemical changes throughout the story. What I want you to do now with your sheet of paper and your pencil is on the front side of your paper, create a table like you see here, a column for physical changes and a column for chemical changes. Pause if you need to get your table set up, and when you're ready, Start again. All right, now that you have your table all set up and you're ready, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back and listen to the story again. And as the story unfolds, I want you to write down any physical changes that you hear in the story or chemical changes that you hear in the story. You can listen to the story as many times as you need. Go back, pause, rewind, whatever you need to do. When you're satisfied that you have in your table all the physical changes and all the chemical changes, then you can go on to the next slides. We'll go over this table together at the end of the activity, so make sure that you're happy with what you have. Again, you can listen to the story as many times as you need to fill out your table. When you're satisfied with your table, go on to the next slides. Okay, on the back side of your paper, at the top of the page, put Mrs. Maxie's Pancakes. This is my version of Pancakes Pancakes. So take a minute, fill out the title on the back side of your paper. If you need to pause, go ahead and pause. Okay, I think we're ready. What you're going to do on the back side of the paper is do kind of the same thing with my version of Pancakes Pancakes. You know, we live in a world that's easy, as you can see by the picture, shake and pour. Starting with the next slide, and there are 4 more slides. Starting with the next slide on your paper, I want you to put slide 1, and in that slide, tell me what you see, physical change or chemical change, and then explain to me why you believe it's a physical change or a chemical change. What's the indicators? Why do you feel that it's a physical change and not a chemical change? And we have a nice little bell in there. Tell me why you feel it's a physical change and not a chemical change, or vice versa, why it's a chemical change and not a physical change. Your explanations don't have to be real long, but they have to be thorough. Again, there are 4 more slides. With each slide, tell me whether it's a physical change or a chemical change that you see and why you believe it to be that change. All right, get started. This is slide number 1, physical change, chemical change. Remember, you can pause at any time. Slide number 2. Slide number 3. And slide number 4. When you're finished, hang on to your paper. We're going to go back through and discuss our table and your observations.